Hello. As most of you know, my name is Jolly, the Reverend I.M.Jolly. And it was with a feeling of great happiness and warmth in my heart I accepted the invitation to come back and have another of our cozy little chats. Because, you know, since I was here the last time, I've had hundreds of letters from you. Well, when I say hundreds, well, there must have been 20 or 30 anyway. Well, actually, there was one postcard from here, and it showed the old cemetery at Alloway, and on the back it said, "Wish you were here." I think it was meant to be a joke, but I didn't laugh very much. Although, as most of you know, I have a very lively sense of humour. Well, since we were last here, life has gone on with its ups and its downs. For example, last Christmas, the session decided to put an illuminated sign up above the kirk door to celebrate the birth of our Lord. But unfortunately, the session clerk, Mercedes McLumfer, wasn't at that meeting. So I went round to her house and put a wee note through the door, just detailing the message that we wanted and the dimensions of the sign. Apparently she dropped down in a dead faint when she read my note. I mean, all it said was, "Unto us a son is born, 8 feet high and 5 feet wide." And then, of course, there was the choir, the church choir concert. It could hardly be described as the acme of show business. First of all, the grand piano fell off the stage and became an upright. And then a bit of the curtain came away during Mrs. McCandlish's solo. I would have come away myself. But actually, I was quite glad that I had stayed on, because just after that, a piece of scenery fell down and it tore off the very front of her frock. It was pure irony that it was while she was singing "These Are My Mountains." Of course, I'm very lucky that through all the strife and the high notes too, I always have my dear wife at my side, Ephesia. She's a very dear wife. In fact, I don't think you could get a dearer wife. She's a great follower of Saint Michael, as is known nowadays, Herr Una. She can often be seen attired in his very finest, and has to be said, very dearest raiments. But she comes with me everywhere I go. I don't, it would just mean having to kiss her goodbye, if you know. I don't know what I'd do without her, even if I had the chance. But she came with me most recently to London when I was on a working party from the Motherwell Municipal Home for Maladjusted Ministers. Or, most interested in the troubles of the vice problem in the inner city. And whilst doing some research in Soho, she invited several of us to come with her for the screening of a pornographic film. Well, 4-letter words: violence, nudity, sleazy sex. I quite enjoy it. Let me assure you, it's the sort of thing you soon grow tired of. I mean, I saw the film 14 times. But on a more positive note, one of the highlights of the year was when the Guild had a talk from Mrs. Ida Closeshave. And she told us all about the good work she's done in Africa with the Ouagadougou tribe. She taught the children to read and write a very basic form of English. She left them 2 books, the Bible, of course, and Plummet Yourself by A.D. Balcock. In that way, they were able to look after their brethren and at the the same time fix their cistern. Well, I suppose at this time of year you're all thinking about your gardening. And we've got old Tam Caldwell, who I think will be trying to grow the biggest marrow in the parish yet again. I expect some of you will remember what happened to him the last time. He had grown a magnificent specimen, and then one night in late August, he was on his way home, blind drunk, it has to be said, after a Bible class, and he took a shortcut through his allotment, and there was a most unexpected but quite severe frost, and he tripped over his runner beams and landed spread-eagled. And that's how they found him the next morning, frozen to the marrow. Now, another good talk we had at the Guild was from the Reverend W.E. Free, and he's a great expert on Scottish history, in particular Jacobites. And he told us some amazing things, and I learned a lot about the Young Pretender. For example, did you know that some of the bones of Charles Edward Stuart were brought back to Scotland, but they had to be hidden? So they were incorporated in the building of a dry steam dyke. And so arose the well-known Scottish folk song with the first line that says, "Bonnie Charlie's knew a war." The worst catastrophe of the whole year was the church dinner dance. It was just the other week there, you know. Well, the dance went fine, that was wonderful, but nobody had thought to organise the dinner. So Mrs. McCandish had to dash down to the Chinese takeaway and order 59 portions of haddock and chips. Well, we don't know what happened. We think the wee Chinaman must have said something to her that she took offence at, because she went berserk and she started to beat him about the head with her umbrella. It was dreadful. The police were called and everything. She eventually calmed down, though, when someone explained that what the wee man had actually said was, "Fish off." You know, in times of strife like that, I often remember what my old father used to say to me. "Angela," he would say, he had a dreadful memory for me. "Angela," he would say, "no matter what muck life throws at you, just smile and keep smiling, because you know, things could be worse." So that's what I did. I just smiled and I kept smiling. And you know, my old dad was right, because things are a bloody sight worse.